Charlie, and I'm only going to stay on you.
Okay, she's only going to put the camera on you. She's still training. Hi, Charlie.
Oh,
Good morning.
okay. Good morning, Jody Hamilton.
Okay.
The distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes.
Can you cue?
Talk to me more about this doctor you met at the party, because she sounds.
It was
like,
a long time ago, but I did not
yeah, well,
realize
I mean, I thought in your case maybe a vaginal archaeologist.
That's funny. Now, Charlie, I did not realize the breadth of vaginal abnormalities that exist. I didn't know. I did not know. Okay, Charlie, I want to kiss you and date you and marry you and knock Jody Hamilton out of the way. Just cue orgasm for this. How you began your piece. You said, now that 30,000 people, this was a long time ago actually, we're at 60 almost, have been evacuated from Afghanistan, I would like the elite political media, especially its cable TV news divisions, to tell me what is the magic number that will change the prevailing narrative. 40,000? 100,000? Everybody in the country except the leaders of the Taliban? All of Southwest Asia? Let me know so I can stop telling people what a Benghazi-style dog's breakfast you all are making out of this story. Thank you, Charlie Pierce. Thank you. Right there.
God.
Yeah, right there. Right there.
Oh yeah.
I just got astonished when I started, reading the reports from Afghanistan, and as opposed to watching them on TV, where they keep running that picture of the airplane
on day one.
Terrible video of the airplane from a week ago.
Yes.
And then I'm reading in the paper, well, they shipped 8,000 people out in the last hour.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a lot,
We're almost at 60,000, Charlie. I mean, will be probably obviously the most successful.
The bad thing is the Taliban starting to notice.
Yes.
And that's
right.
That's going to require a change in,
Yeah, the Taliban noticed before our media what a spectacular job Joe Biden is doing evacuating people. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you said Chris Murphy, we were talking about that, about the president's approval rating, which they seem to be cheering that now, the approval rating they've created on their disastrous Afghanistan coverage. He said over the last decade, Republicans have pushed to intentionally create a massive backlog in the Special Immigrant Visa, SIV program, the one we use to bring Afghan partners to America by putting onerous conditions on the applications. We just finished talking to Olivia Troy about that.
Well, she was in the meetings.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, that's the thing about Olivia, which makes me listen to her with enormous credibility, is that she was in the damn meetings.
Yes.
And when they were doing that.
So you said Obama, I think.
She was in the room where it happened.
Yes. She was in the room where it happened. There's a lot of pictures. There's a lot of receipts. Okay.
No one else was in the room where it happened.
Thank you. So Obama admitted over 2,700 Afghan refugees. Trump admitted 400 because he dismantled the refugee system. Biden had to rebuild it. This was Senator Chris Murphy, I think you're still quoting. But you said quite simply, any report on the catastrophe, quote unquote, in Afghanistan that doesn't include these facts, especially in the involvement of the odious Stephen Miller, is not worth your time. Any report on the decline in the president's poll numbers that doesn't mention the deliberate efforts to sabotage his administration and the real human cost of those efforts can be considered disposable. Oh, and Tony Blair can write off.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like finally, Charlie, people are starting to push back, whether it's on Twitter or Lawrence O'Donnell or Joy Reid, just on this narrative.
I'm ethnically predisposed to not take carping from Brits.
Yes.
I really am.
Yes.
I'm not taking that from those guys.
Yeah.
You want to be Bulgarian and carp at me? I got no problem with that. Swedish, Tongan, absolutely.
Yeah, from Bush's, what do you call it? Bush's Iraq poodle, Tony Blair.
Poodle,
yeah,
that's right.
Yes, exactly.
But Clinton's poodle before that.
Yeah. Well, but Charlie, so what now?
And now he's lobbying for the guy in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, so now, as we just mentioned, this morning, the news, the Taliban will no longer allow Afghans to go to Kabul Airport. They've said, this is a red line, the August 31st deadline. But, as you said, Trump created all of this. But so now what, right? I guess the question is now what?
I think that I get the feeling that this bunch of Taliban wants some measure of international credibility. Unlike the previous guys who just wanted to, blow up statues and kill people.
Yeah.
I think you could probably back these guys down.
Yeah.
In terms of, in terms of the airport. Yeah, we're going to be there till September 12th. I think you could probably do that.
Yeah. You're other piece was Marjorie Taylor Greene is out of the Republican Party's control. In fact, they cannot exist as a national party without her and her fellow travelers. I mean, you talked about her trip to Iowa to run for president. I mean, it's just
she and Matt Gaetz were both out in Iowa at the state fair.
I mean, but
they were keeping her out of the poultry barn so she wouldn't bite the heads off the chickens.
But I mean, you saw Trump's crowd boo him for telling them to get the vaccines. You're like, this entire party is out of control. They lost control of their monster Trump, and now he's lost control of his monsters, and here we are.
Well, not just that, but they're all committing suicide at this point. Now it's become personal issues for all these people. It doesn't have anything to do with anything really to do with politics anymore. It has to do with religion and your place in the world, really, and who's bullying you and who's trying to, all of that nonsense.
So she had a lot of pushback yesterday. She attacked Biden over the moves he's making in Afghanistan, and then claimed that Trump would get what could have gotten whatever he wanted out of the Taliban. Yes, after completely surrendering to them and releasing 5,000 prisoners and doing everything they asked. She tweeted the Taliban
he certainly has a good relationship with the guy running the country since he let him out of jail.
Yeah, right. But she tweeted the Taliban would never have said no to President Trump, but they just told Biden no to extending the August 31st deadline to pull troops. Biden has disgraced America and must be impeached. I mean, thank God Twitter was like, when did Trump ever say no to the Taliban? He let them all go and invited them to Camp David. Trump freed 5,000 Taliban fighters from prison. He was outsmarted and out-negotiated by the Taliban, the art of the deal. And then why would the Taliban say no to Trump? He released all their prisoners, pulled 8,500 of the 11,000 troops out of Afghanistan. And then someone else said, what planet are you on? Trump folded like a cheap suit to the Taliban. I mean, Charlie, I guess the surprise to me is anyone was surprised. After they already cut a deal with the Taliban behind the Afghan government's back. Like, why would the Afghan government have lasted any time after that? Obviously the Taliban went to them and says, America's out. We made a deal with them, right?
Yeah, and this is and this is also the reason why, why didn't they evacuate them a month and a half ago? Was about, is not recognizing the reality on the ground either. Yeah. If they started evacuating people a month and a half ago, the government would have collapsed in 11 seconds instead of 15.
Right. Thank you. And also, Charlie, we told all the Americans there months ago they should leave Kabul. What was Biden supposed to do exactly? How was he supposed to force Americans to leave when they were told they should leave?
He wasn't supposed to leave. That's the thing. Right. I mean, if you scratch, deeply enough on these people who are, carping at the way things are going, basically they didn't want anybody to leave. They wanted troops there, however long forever is.
Yeah, no, exactly. I
have a lovely shot of your elbow right now.
Oh, well.
What?
Your screen is frozen. Her screen is frozen a little bit, and
I
see stuff.
Okay.
I hope it's all right.
Jody's training, and I think she just wants the camera on you.
Yeah.
Well, so this is obviously spokesman for the Taliban warned of the August 31st deadline would cross a red line and result in consequence. I love this. He said it will deteriorate the relation and create mistrust between us. Oh no, we might not trust the Taliban. Oh no. He said it will provoke a reaction if we cross the blah 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 blah. The CIA director was there, obviously in Kabul, had a meeting with the Taliban leader. So, again, Charlie, how did you think this? I mean, how do you think this is going to play out? I know Adam Schiff said I can't see how we get everybody out by August 31st.
Well, I don't think we get all the the people who helped us who are Afghans out.
Right.
By then, I think we can probably, obviously we can get the troops out by then, but we don't want to do that. I think we can probably collect the remaining. How many Americans? What's the count on that now? Do we know?
Don't know. Adam Schiff said.
How many Americans are still there?
Adam Schiff said maybe we're going to have to call the Taliban's bluff, given the number of Americans who still need to be evacuated, the number of SIVs, the number of others who are members of the Afghan press, civil society leaders, women leaders. It's hard for me to imagine all of that can be accomplished between now and the end of the month. Yeah, but I mean, it's and now
the end of the month is like next week.
Yeah, right. Well, and Charlie, the other thing is, and they're saying that Schiff said the threat to the airport is very real and substantial. It could even be a target for ISIS, which, of course, Mike Pence declared ISIS was gone in 2019. Trump claimed he took ISIS out in 2017. I mean, everything they told us is a lie.
Yeah. No, I mean, and if they, if the Taliban, initiates a bloodbath at the airport, they're Capitol will be a glass parking lot within the hour and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have airplanes, and they're still trying to figure out how to use all the stuff we left behind.
Yeah.
I just, I mean, the problem, the political problem would be that would get hung on Biden, and he wouldn't be able to shake that. But I don't think they'll do it. I think they'll bluster and fume, and meanwhile they're going to cut deals with Russia and China and everything to keep themselves afloat, and make sure that that I don't even think it's in their best interest to have terrorists based there anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what got them in trouble the last time.
Yeah.